What exactly is happening when we're having anxiety? Um, it's our chronic stress response, like our nervous system is stuck in that fight or flight. So that can be like, flight as in you want to run away from the problem or you want to fight the problem. There's the other end of our nervous system spectrum, which we call dorsal, which is more the shutdown. Like, I don't want to do anything. I want to sit in a closet and cry. I want to shut myself off from everybody. And so what happens is when we have this imbalanced cortisol, so when you get an acute state of stress, cortisol goes up. Now, what happens if you are in a chronic stress response, at some point, right? Cortisol is catabolic, means it breaks down. So at some point, your brain is very smart. It goes, we can't have all this cortisol circulating. We need to do something about it. And so you'll be someone who definitely feels very tired, maybe has a lot of symptoms of cortisol issues, and you assume you have high cortisol, but then when you test, it's really low and you don't understand why. That's because you've been in that chronic stress state for so long, and your body's smart, goes, we can't have all that cortisol circulating. It's catabolic, even though you're still under the same amount of stress. Okay. So when we have that imbalance of cortisol, that then gives us an imbalance in our blood sugar, right? And that's going to, especially if you're someone who like is already dealing with maybe insulin resistance or excess androgens, that can impact your ovulation, right? Also, even just thinking about the stress response, right? Ovulation can bring babies, right? And our body's really smart and it goes, I can't get pregnant right now. I can't handle that. So what's the best way to make sure I don't get pregnant? Let's shut down ovulation. This is another reason why stress really directly impacts ovulation. And then the other big one that I just want to talk about is digestion, right? We're not a prey animal. We don't poop and run. So like horses, when they're getting chased and they're stressed, you actually will see them poop, like while they're running. And you don't see a dog do that, right? They stop. You don't see us do that. Like, we're not running and pooping. Okay. So what does that mean? That means that when we're under a chronic state of stress, whether that's like through our work, through internal stress, like toxins, parasites, etc., whether that's emotional stress, physical stress, your body is going to allocate resources away from digestion to save you. So it's like, get the blood pumping, let's run away from the bear, not digest your food, which is why you're like, why am I constantly feeling bloated after eating? Why am I constantly not having great bowel movements? Why do I feel like when I poop, I didn't poop everything out, right? Stress, right? Now, if that's going on and that's already like impacting bowels, what's that then going to be impacting? Is going to be impacting nutrient absorption, right? And if we aren't pooping, we're not eliminating, that's one of our detox pathways. What's that going to impact? Hormones. Liver filters, gut gets rid of, poop it out, right? So if that is not happening, now we're having a hormonal imbalance, which is going back to the anxiety and the stress, right? So now what happens is that we have a hormonal imbalance that was maybe originally caused by the stress, but now the hormonal imbalance is now feeding the stress and the anxiety, and now you're looping.